loves. How are you? So this is an unexpected video because I had a session that had to switch times. And so I didn't have anything specific that I was intending to speak to you about, but something about the energy right now feels really open and beautiful with the new moon to sort of actually just open up and bring forth the most beneficial messages for you. There have been a lot of themes that have been coming up, and I did tell you I was going to touch on some of the sustaining sacred union energies and such. But I do feel like sort of an excitement to just open up to whatever wants to come through for the collective here. And I wanted to let you know really quick, our friend Connor from Sacred Masculine Speaks series did start his own channel, Spear Point, and I dropped that over on my posts, but I'll also put it in the pinned comment for all of you who wanted to join him there, who've been asking for more of his own direct content. So that's available now, and we're excited to see what Connor wants to share with us. And also, I wanted to let you know I apologize. Apparently, the Sacred Circle of Love link in the pinned comments was not working. So those are fixed, and I'll make sure that the appropriate one that's working is actually available for you in the pinned comment as well. Again, that's this coming Wednesday at either 3 or 6 p.m. Eastern Time via donation. If any of you feel guided to join, we're really focusing on embodying joy. So maybe that's what we'll kind of focus on or see what wants to come up. I'm feeling actually guided to a few different decks. So let's just dive into it. I'm going to start with the Priestess of Light. Again, we're just going to bring forth the most beneficial messages for you as we move into this new moon and this new energy, this new month, this new week. Wow, a whole bunch. A lot is shuffling and shifting. Let's see what comes through. Cool. Two came out. So interesting. The first one was balance, stability, and standing firm. And this was a theme that really came through for me over this past few days, like really noticing like when we spoke yesterday about maybe other things from the past coming up, which is pretty typical with Mercury retrograde. And of course, we moved into this Pluto and Aquarius energy. And so it's interesting, like focusing on the energies of stability, safety, security, but not out of a space of fear, but of just really feeling the stability of embodying into yourself, claiming your own lane and your own stream from source, from your higher self, all the way down to the roots into your direct connection with Earth. And it's interesting because the next card that came out was hostilities, conflict, and unrest. Now, I feel well, the energy that's coming through to talk to you about is actually the energy like as you're moving into your next levels, you're ready to level up, you're being called to your next energies, which I've been feeling for both the feminine and masculine collectives quite significantly. And I'm sure many of you have as well. So, regardless of where you're at on the journey, many in the collective are being called to their next levels. And so, when you're being called into your levels of gifts or deeper embodiment, there tends to almost be a little bit of a space or time in that process of moving to the next level where old relationships, old patterns, old dynamics, or even fears or conflicts from the past may surface. Now, it can come in dream time for you to resolve in dream time. It can come just in your thoughts and you can sort of address the anxieties or the fears, or you may actually have physical contact or experiences that are mirroring this pattern or energy to you. Now, when you're in the state of rising, this doesn't mean that you're going backwards. It means you're sort of going through that testing period, right? And this is where you take everything that you've been learning within this time frame, within this bandwidth, and you apply it to whatever energies are being presented to you. There was also something that felt significant that actually came through in terms of maybe things that were fearful in the past or uncomfortable or anxious. Like, notice where you can drop into that, retrieve your true power, take responsibility for how you may have interacted in those conflicts or those experiences or exchanges, retrieve your essence, and bring in the energies of clarity, compassion, forgiveness, and truth. Those were some of the energies that have been coming through, like when you're sort of opening up these pockets or residuals from old pockets are coming back up. Again, I view it as an opportunity to balance, harmonize, and stabilize more deeply into the embodiment of who you are now. This, again, is something you can really retrain yourself, if it aligns for you, of course, to see these experiences as opportunities to support you in those deeper embodiments of who you are and who you're evolving into, who you're ascending into as you're activating more and more of that dormant DNA, as you're embodying more and more of your true soul essence, as you're thawing and retrieving those parts of yourself that may have been frozen in the past out of fears or protective mechanisms. Okay. It can go in a lot of different directions, but what I'm sensing feels most important for you to receive within this essence is that I feel deeply you have the tools and the capacity in most cases to support yourself through these next levels. And if for some reason something comes up in your system where you're a bit uncertain or a bit wobbly, again, this is where you can start to ask your higher self to bring in clarity. Talk to a friend who understands, work with someone if you need support, whatever you need to do to support yourself in this process, this energy of stabilizing into who you are now and allowing the old patterns to resolve is clearly a big part of what we're doing as we're moving through the ascension energies. I know that we talk about this here from many different perspectives, but there's this energy and awareness right now that's coming through that you may go through a bit of this almost like what they're showing me is the roller coaster ride ending, but you know, at the end before it stops, it can get a little bit wobbly, or you sort of are like, okay, I know we're coming to a close, but we're not landed and fully stable yet. It feels like that, but I'm also now being drawn to where she's holding and focusing her heart energy from her hands on this moon essence. But do you see it's like the brightest spot on the moon? And so it's bringing forth a message of something being illuminated through facing the shadows, because these panthers, for me, really signify like going into the shadow work and, retrieving our light, retrieving our essence. I always see the panthers as sort of like a guide into the shadows. They're really wanting to step forward right now to walk with you if that feels aligned. For any of you that feel guided, you can look up Panther, Black Panther animal totem. For any of you who do have like a black cat, you may feel that essence through your physical world cat. I have one myself, and he keeps me on my toes, as many of you know. And but there's definitely something wanting to be illuminated and retrieved from the depths of the shadows. And how this feels to me is that within whatever is coming up that may feel uncomfortable, it feels important that you allow yourself to stabilize and face it. Obviously, of course, as long as you're not in any immediate danger, but in the energetics, a lot, even if there is something, you can get yourself to safety and then honor whatever's coming up in your system and Allow yourself to retrieve what may have been hidden in those shadows. Okay. Um, wow. There's a lot coming in with this. So it could go with anything. It could be relationships, finances, work, moving, stability, the holiday season coming up. It feels like there's a lot, but it feels very significant that there is a gift, there is a wisdom, there is an insight, there is a soul essence retrieval that is wanting to come forward for many, if not all of you. Okay, beautiful. Can we, like, I'm gonna go into the tarot and sort of see how this might support you in the physical world. Again, this message obviously wanted to come through for you today because, like I said, I was supposed to be in session at this time and things got switched at the last minute. And yeah, this feels like it may be important for someone. Okay. Part of what is coming through with this is there's the Seven of Cups actually is speaking to me actually about people who are connected to you. Those of you here watching with me, there's a person or people connected to you that are making some new decisions in their lives. And for some of you, it might be one, some of you, it might be several that are going to directly impact your coming future. Okay. And these decisions actually, what I'm sensing is they're actually decisions that are aligned with you, to you, and for you. So if there's been a part of you that feels like you've been sort of in a waiting, and I don't mean like a desperate waiting, but you just are kind of plugging away and working at what's in front of you, but you know there's more to come. This feels connected to whoever these individuals are, is they're going into their next levels. These choices that they're in the process of making or will be making very soon are going to be supportive for you. And so this is wanting to come out for you. I'm getting now these other cards that came forward is that the masculine collective is stepping forward, going through quite a bit of their transformation, stepping into their power. There is a lot coming through with the energy and element of fire and transformation, strength and stability. And the masculines are very clearly, for me right now, wanting to come through to express that they are part of some of the people that are making this decision to align with the highest timeline. Interestingly, I feel like obviously at a soul level, that decision has been in process all along. But this to me is speaking about the physical world awareness that they're choosing a new type of transformation. There's a decision that's being made now or very in the near future that is going to support them in really stepping into their truest version. Okay. And beautiful. It feels that what's coming through is that they are reaching for that truest version of themselves and allowing through this decision. What is coming through is that all of those parts of themselves are going to learn how to work together, sort of mirroring this process that we talked about up here. It looks a little bit messy, obviously, in this experience, right? But at the same time, they're all moving towards reaching towards that light, towards, wow, okay. So it's like kind of reiterating what I spoke about up here and moving towards the light, but then still having to sort of clean up and do this dance of working with the new energies and also simultaneously bringing those into the shadows so that they can embody into this newer version. Okay. Truer version is always what that sort of feels like to me, like that authenticity of who they are in their soul level, coupled with the human that they are that grew up in this life, in this physical body, and allowing the beauty of those two beings to meld and meet and work together, because there's also a lot of value within whatever life experiences you have had on your journey in this lifetime that are important parts of commingling and embodying with your higher self essence, because your human self has the keys in new and deeper and totally different ways that your higher self does not necessarily, what's the word? Understand the same way that your human self does. Okay. So that's why the mixing and mingling and integration of the two is very exceedingly powerful. And it feels like as these two mingle and sort of that coming out of the shadows back up into the light and holding again this energy and essence. Did this come through yesterday or the day before or on I don't know. This card, it felt like this came up. And it's really speaking to me about going into the shadows, retrieving the true essence, and bringing back the gifts to be shared out into the day-to-day life, right? And wow. Okay. Yep. There's quite a bit going on with the heart space and the arms and the heart space and the free essence of the heart being able to come forward and flow. I feel this for the masculines, but I actually feel it for the whole collective. And if you feel guided to work with that, there's something, like I said, within the arms that wants to be opened, unraveled, dissolved, and allowing for a more open heart space flow. All right. So there you have it. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Again, for any of you who feel called to join me in the sacred circle of love, embodying joy, I will have the correct link in the pinned comment for you. And of course, always feel free to drop a comment or send me a message if not. So I appreciate those of you who have told me that the link was not working. All right. So much love to you. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.